And news just out, Stellantis is laying off almost 2,500 factory workers from an assembly plant outside of Detroit.
Is this the end of Ram trucks? For decades, names like Ram, Jeep, and Chrysler have represented the spirit of American automotive adventure, but now they seem trapped in a storm of corporate turbulence. This isn't just a hiccup. This is a full-blown crisis that could leave a last mark on the future of the industry. This situation could snowball into serious consequences, including bankruptcy or worse, government penalties due to the massive scale of it all. So what's really going on here? Well, the roots of all trace back to the formation of Stellantis, a behemoth that emerged from the merger of Fiat Chrysler and PSA Group. Since this merger, we're witnessing significant strategic changes from the higher-ups, leaving many brands struggling to find their footing. The new approach isn't cutting it for everyone, and some brands are seeing a dramatic decline in their performance. Now, some of them might even need to halt work completely. But before all of that happens, Stellantis is trying to do something that has got everyone intrigued, to say the least. What's their plan? Well, get ready for something special. Stellantis is rolling out a final edition model that beautifully honors its legacy while looking ahead. Limited to just 4,000 units worldwide, this vehicle isn't just a car, it's a collector's dream and a testament to the brand's rich history. And they are planning to do this for almost all of their brands under Stellantis. But now, let's dive into the Ram 1500 TRX Final Edition. This isn't just another launch. It's an exhilarating powerhouse that promises thrilling adventures wrapped in luxury. Pop open the hood, and you'll find a jaw-dropping 6.2-liter supercharged Hemi V8 engine that fires up a whopping 702 horsepower and 650 pound-feet of torque. Want to experience pure adrenaline? This beast zooms from 0 to 60 miles per hour in an electrifying 4.5 seconds. That acceleration isn't merely fast, it'll send chills down your spine and put a huge smile on your face. But wait, it gets even better. Step inside and you're greeted with sheer opulence. The interior is packed with luxurious touches like patina contrast stitching, bold TRX embroidery, and plush faux suede door panels that wrap around you. Every inch has been carefully designed, highlighted by a gauge cluster that proudly shows off the Final Edition badge. And if you think that's all, think again. The tech and comfort features are off the charts. A premium 19-speaker Harman Kardon sound system delivers crystal clear sound that makes you feel like you're at a live concert. Plus, the sleek head-up display and digital rear-view mirror add a futuristic vibe, transforming every drive into an exciting adventure. You'll love the heated and ventilated seats that pamper you in any weather, complete with memory settings for the driver's seat and mirrors. Everything just the way you like it. Toss in advanced safety features like adaptive cruise control and lane keeping assist, and you've got a truck that's as intelligent as it is powerful. This is the direction Stellantis is steering all its brands. But here's the big question. Will it hit the mark? Let's dig into that. How will this end? To answer that, just take a moment to consider Jeep. This brand has always been synonymous with toughness and the spirit of adventure, yet it seems to be struggling with a shift in strategy. Jeep represents rugged off-road vehicles that have captured the hearts of many, and now it feels like Stellantis is trying to shove Jeep into a new role that just doesn't suit it. Jeep's allure has always been in its durability and accessibility, but the brand is now chasing the luxury market, attempting to compete with giants like Land Rover and Lexus. Suddenly, it's all about shiny interiors and cutting-edge tech. But let's be real for a second. Trying to go toe-to-toe with luxury brands feels like a misstep for a brand renowned for rugged adventures. Remember when Toyota tried this and fell short? That's exactly why they created Lexus. Yet here we are again, witnessing another questionable decision that seems rather uninformed. And what about the constant turnover in leadership? It feels like there's a new Jeep chief every time you blink. Just recently, the North American Jeep head exited the scene, leaving everyone on a roller coaster ride that never ends. Why is this happening? Well, it seems their strategy isn't resonating, and that's got to be frustrating for everyone involved. Who saw this coming? Let's not ignore the competition. Brands like Ford are introducing models that resonate with both adventure lovers and everyday drivers without breaking the bank. The Bronco is back, and it's winning over customers left and right. If Jeep wants to stay relevant, it's time for a serious rethink of their game plan. On top of all that, Stellantis is dealing with serious quality control nightmares. Reports of Wranglers spontaneously combusting? That's more than just a hiccup. It's a colossal red flag. We're talking about 9 incidents of vehicles igniting even while parked. News like this spreads like wildfire and could seriously damage a brand's reputation. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is on the case, looking into these issues that could lead to recalls, or worse. And can you blame consumers for being cautious? Who wants to drive a potential fire hazard? This is definitely not the kind of reputation a brand that prides itself on toughness and reliability should have. Now, let's talk numbers. The first half of 2024 was rough, with Wrangler sales taking a nosedive by 33%. That's not just a dip, that's a plunge. The Grand Cherokee isn't doing much better, with almost a 20% drop in sales. When you mix in rising production costs and quality concerns, it paints a pretty dismal picture for Stellantis. In response to these challenges, Stellantis is making bold moves, which is what's fueling all this chaos. It's like they're slamming the brakes, trying to regain control before things spiral completely out of hand. But will it be enough? They've got 2 big hurdles to overcome. Let's break it down. Sticker shocks. Here's where things get tricky for Stellantis. If they want to kick sales back into gear, they need to seriously consider slashing prices. Sure, they've mentioned offering discounts like $5,000 off, but let's be real, that won't cut it when buyers are looking for much bigger savings. People want value, especially when they're forking out tens of thousands for a new vehicle. Picture this, you walk into your favorite store all set to snag a great deal on jeans, only to find they're still priced like high-end designer pieces. Meanwhile, you know you can find something similar for half the price down the street. That's exactly how potential buyers feel about those Wranglers and Grand Cherokees right now. Reconnecting with consumers, that's their first big hurdle. In the past 5 years, Jeep has jacked up prices by over 50%. Crazy, right? Who would actually drop 6 figures on a Jeep? Sure, a few might, but the majority of us are scratching our heads in disbelief. This shift toward a luxury market seems to have alienated loyal customers who just want a solid, reliable vehicle without blowing their budget. Imagine yourself as a devoted Jeep fan who's been saving for years to buy your dream ride, only to discover it costs as much as a cozy little house. It stings when a brand you've always trusted suddenly becomes financially out of reach. How would that make you feel as a potential buyer? Disheartened? Frustrated? It's tough to watch a beloved brand morph into something that feels exclusive and unattainable. To truly change course, Stellantis must reconnect with its core audience, the adventure seekers who desire reliability without sacrificing their savings. They need to remind us why we fell in love with Jeep in the first place. Weekend trips into the great outdoors, family camping escapades, where fitting all your gear in the back didn't come with a hefty price tag. What if they launched special editions at more affordable price points, or revamped their marketing strategy to spotlight both affordability and capability? Imagine seeing ads featuring families enjoying road trips in their Wranglers without worrying about their wallets. That would hit home. It seems like the recent slump in sales has clouded their vision for what consumers actually want. But can you blame them? If I were Carlos Tavares, the CEO, I'd be sweating bullets right now.
How bad is this?
Let's talk about Jeep and its recent struggles. The first major blow? A significant drop in market share, which highlights just how challenging things are in the automotive world right now. In the first half of 2024, Wrangler sales plummeted by an eye-popping 33%, while Grand Cherokee sales fell nearly 20%. These aren't just numbers. They reflect a serious loss of consumer interest and trust, which directly impacts market share. Now take a look at Stellantis' recent earnings reports. The financial fallout from these declines is clear. Their net income took a massive dive of 48%, landing at $6.25 billion in the first half of 2024. That's a shocking drop, well below what analysts had anticipated. This downturn is mainly due to lower sales volumes and an unfavorable mix of vehicles. Have you noticed how some car models just aren't moving off the lots like they used to? When fewer vehicles are sold, it's only natural that revenue and profits will take a hit. This sales slump is certainly weighing heavily on Stellantis. The issue of vehicle mix is also crucial here. Think about it. If the more profitable models aren't in demand, and instead, they're selling more of the lower margin vehicles, how does that impact their finances? Exactly. This unfortunate mix is making the situation even more challenging. So, what's Stellantis going to do? They're clearly in a tough position, and these earnings results underline how urgent things have become. To turn this around, they'll need to rethink their strategies. Perhaps it's time for some shuffling in their product lineup. or innovative approaches to boost sales. But let's be realistic. They need to address these core issues before diving into the luxury market. This is the second major challenge they need to tackle.
What's the solution? Let's dive into what Stellantis really needs to do. Reconnect with its customers while tackling some serious issues that are tarnishing their reputation. The challenges facing these vehicles are numerous, and they're creating a negative perception around the brand. First on the list is quality control. Jeep has faced significant reliability and build quality challenges. If they want to win back consumer trust, they need to confront these issues directly. This isn't just about patching up defects, it's about proving to customers that they're dedicated to providing top quality, dependable vehicles every single time. Right now, Stellantis is at a crossroads. They have a golden opportunity to steer Jeep back to its roots and tap into the core aspects that made the brand a favorite among fans. This is a crucial moment for them, and how they navigate it could shape Jeep's future in meaningful ways. But wait, it gets messier. Inventory issues are also a major headache. Stellantis is sitting on a mountain of unsold vehicles, boasting one of the highest market days supply in the industry. This means cars are just parked around while dealers scramble to offload them. Can you imagine being a dealer right now? Bills are piling up for vehicles that refuse to leave the lot. It's like being trapped in quicksand. No way out. Dealers are feeling the heat as they try to keep their inventory costs manageable while keeping their businesses alive. Picture this. You've got shiny new cars gleaming in your dealership, but every day they sit there without a sale costs you money. It's not just about moving metal, it's about survival. How would you feel if your financial livelihood hinged on how quickly those cars could be sold? The road ahead for Stellantis and its brands is foggy, but it's clear that both dealers and customers deserve a better experience. As we watch this story unfold, it raises intriguing questions about brand loyalty, affordability, and what it really means to belong to a brand community. So let's dissect it together. Where's the backing?
Dealers are really feeling the pressure these days. Many are anxious about covering their floor plan costs, the interest they rack up on unsold inventory, and some are even facing bankruptcy. It's tough to watch hardworking dealers, who have spent years building trust with their customers, feel left out in the cold by the manufacturer. Imagine walking into your favorite local dealership, the one where you've bought cars for years, and find them struggling to keep their doors open, slashing prices just to stay afloat. It hits hard because these dealers are a part of our communities. How would you feel if your go-to local restaurant or shop was on the verge of shutting down because of things they couldn't control? Many dealers have reached out to Stellantis executives, voicing their concerns and pleading for assistance in moving inventory. They're not looking for free handouts, they want to build a partnership and collaborate. Isn't that what business is all about? Coming together to achieve shared goals? Instead, the industry seems to be filled with missed opportunities for connection and support.
Backstabbing. Stellantis is causing some serious distress, not just for dealers, but for their employees too. Layoffs could begin as soon as October 8, and this isn't just a minor issue. We're talking about real consequences for families and communities. Can you imagine being part of that workforce and suddenly hearing this? It's enough to make anyone feel uneasy. The situation at the Warren Truck Assembly Plant is shocking. Stellantis has announced plans to lay off up to 2,450 workers at this key facility in Michigan. This decision is closely linked to the pause in production of the iconic Ram 1500 pickup truck. What does this mean for the workforce? Layoffs are expected to kick off right around October 8, 2024. More than 60% of the plant's workforce, nearly 3,700 UAW represented workers, could soon find themselves without jobs. Stellantis is offering some reassurance, saying that senior employees facing layoffs will be provided with 52 weeks of supplemental unemployment benefits and healthcare coverage for 2 years. While that's a bit of a safety net, it hardly changes the fact that thousands of livelihoods are at stake as uncertainty looms over this once thriving plant. This turmoil didn't just appear out of nowhere. Back in March 2024, the company let go of about 400 non-union employees, which was nearly 2% of their entire US workforce in engineering and tech roles. They framed this as a necessary move to increase efficiency and cut costs. Steps they argue are needed to navigate the rough waters of today's market, but it doesn't stop there. Fast forward to July 2024, and things got even rougher with Stellantis temporarily laying off 1,600 employees at the Warren plant due to a decrease in vehicle output. This paints a stark picture of the ongoing struggles with market demand and inventory management. The fallout from these layoffs extends well beyond the factory floors. It impacts families, communities, and the economy as a whole. The future of the Warren Truck Assembly Plant hangs by a thread. As Stellantis grapples with economic uncertainty and changing demand, the effects of these layoffs could ripple out for many years. It raises an unsettling question. What happens next for the dedicated workforce that has poured their heart and soul into building some of America's favorite trucks? The road ahead looks challenging, and many will be watching closely in the coming months. Fain, the president of the Auto Workers Union, made it clear, what affects one of us affects all of us. He's not just talking about job security, he's signaling that if changes don't occur, we could see a national strike. That's some serious talk. Fain is bluntly asking Stellantis, what are you going to do? Despite their commitments to develop electric versions of popular models like the Jeep Wagoneer and the Ram 1500 Rev at their Sterling Heights plant, it begs the question, how can they claim to be innovative while simultaneously cutting jobs? This leads us to a crucial query. Will these investments really safeguard existing jobs or create new ones? Right now, there's no clear answer on whether these moves will spur job growth in Metro Detroit or if we're merely witnessing a shuffle of roles. Longtime employees are feeling the pressure as they see their colleagues facing an uncertain future. At a recent rally, one worker shared their solidarity with those at risk of being laid off, saying, "We're all feeling this." It's a tough reality right now. How is this affecting work? Tension among Stellantis workers is at an all-time high, creating a mix of anxiety and uncertainty in the wake of last year's tough negotiations for better wages. These talks, part of a major strike led by the United Auto Workers, had sparked hope for improved working conditions. But now, that hope feels dimmed by a growing sense of dread. Workers are left questioning what lies ahead as the company faces its own challenges. Cooper, who manages a team at the Toledo Assembly Complex, describes the current morale as grim. It's hit a new low. He mentions that veteran employees are sounding alarms about potential plant relocations to Mexico, driven by rising labor costs in the US. With declining sales figures, those warnings start to feel more like a looming threat than just idle chatter. The shadow of job losses now looms large, turning the daily grind at the factory into a stress-filled exercise of what-ifs. Similarly, Lori Naylor, working in the chassis department at the Warren Truck Plant, expresses her discontent and fear about the precarious situation many of her coworkers face. The anxiety is palpable, especially for those worried about making ends meet, considering the real threat of impending layoffs. Naylor is particularly concerned for the younger workers, those who have less seniority and are thus more vulnerable in this shifting landscape of job security. She bitterly reflects on the recent contract ratification, feeling it didn't adequately tackle the pressing issue of job stability that so many workers desperately need. Then there's Pinson, another employee who has felt the chaos that comes with these abrupt changes. He was unexpectedly reassigned to a warehouse job in Detroit without any warning, a disruption that turned his entire routine upside down. These sudden changes stretched his workdays longer than ever, forcing him to leave his home at dawn around 9 a.m. for a grueling 5 a.m. shift. Let's not forget the unexpected commute costs that added to the stress. Luckily, he's managed to return to his original role, but uncertainty still hangs over him, especially with ongoing rumors of layoffs swirling around the plant. Now, with all this happening, you have to ask yourself, where is the union in all of this? What about the union? It's no surprise that the United Auto Workers are raising their voices in response to the current crisis. Unions play a crucial role in safeguarding employee rights and ensuring job security, especially during tough times. With thousands of workers facing uncertain futures, the UAW is stepping up to challenge corporate decisions that threaten their livelihoods. This isn't just about losing jobs, it's a critical battle to keep workers safe and secure in their positions. Take President Shawn Fain, for example. He's become a prominent critic of Stellantis' approach to layoffs, particularly after the announcement to cut nearly 2,450 jobs at the Warren Truck Assembly Plant. This news is even harder to swallow when Stellantis is simultaneously investing a staggering $406 million into electric vehicle production. Fain isn't holding back. He's called out CEO Carlos Tavares as pathetic for granting himself a hefty 56% pay increase while many employees are facing job loss. In his strong statement, Fain declared, "The American taxpayer has invested in Stellantis. Workers have invested in Stellantis. It's time for Stellantis to invest in us." This underscores the need for the company to prioritize its workforce just as much as its financial growth. The union is adamant that Stellantis must keep its promises to workers. Fain has emphasized the expectation for more than just corporate investments. They want solid commitments to job stability moving forward. "We need real commitments to job security," he stated, stressing how vital it is for those who have dedicated countless hours to building vehicles to feel secure in their roles. This situation goes beyond dollars and cents. It's about the lives affected by these jobs and the communities that depend on them. Union leaders also worry about the wider impact of these layoffs, not just on those immediately affected, but on entire communities that rely on stable manufacturing jobs. Michael Spencer, president of Local 1700, expressed his outrage at the job cuts, calling the situation disappointing and disgusting. He described the layoffs as a shockwave through local economies, leading to soaring unemployment rates and plummeting buying power for families. When Stellantis cuts jobs, the effects are felt throughout neighborhoods, rippling beyond the factory walls. Let's jump into the exciting action happening right now on the ground. The union is in full force, rallying its members to unite in solidarity. These are challenging times, and they aren't just sitting on their hands. They're actively mobilizing grassroots movements to make sure everyone feels supported and valued. Union leaders are hustling more than ever, organizing protests and meetings designed to uplift the spirits of workers navigating an uncertain future. The message is loud and clear. Now, more than ever, we need workers to stand together to combat the wave of corporate greed and indifference that threaten our livelihoods. Let's take Lori Naylor as a prime example. She's opened up about her absolute, utter fear regarding the future. With the specter of layoffs hanging over her head, she worries about how she'll provide for her family. In these tough times, the union has become a beacon of hope and support for her and many others. They're committed to ensuring that their members' voices are heard during this chaotic period, making certain that no one feels invisible, especially as the company shifts focus towards electric vehicles. This dedication to amplifying their members' concerns shows a deep understanding of the importance of unity amid significant industry changes. However, there's a bit of unease brewing beneath the surface. Are the union's collective efforts truly enough? Members are starting to voice their worries, questioning whether the support they're getting adequately meets their needs during this crisis. This opens up an important discussion about how effectively the union's strategies address the concerns and demands of its members. What do you think? We're eager to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in our next video.